What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. We are deep into the summer. We're into July, and this is normally the time of year, and really the only month we got here before more games hit next month, where we just kind of do some progress reports, right? We check up on our favorite games or not so favorite games, and we talk about, what's going on, what's the state of them. For Hydra, and this is the first one of this series that I'm recording this year, wanted to take a little bit more of like a pessimistic look at it, but still maintaining my hope and my optimism. Okay, I've long said, as long as Amy Hennig is attached, okay, to this studio, I'm gonna be pumped. I'm gonna have a general amount of hope and believability, and just kind of following her through. She's had it rough, and she's had games canceled on her, and all this different stuff. But I just feel she's one of the great minds in gaming that's had a rough go recently. But I'm gonna trust it. With that being said, whenever we've talked about this game, and whenever people will bring up like, hey, I have absolutely zero optimism or zero excitement until I see gameplay or until this happens or until that, I never push back because I think so much of that is valid. And I think, we've gotten deceived before, with these type of games. You do have to be careful. And I don't think they've done it well themselves. I don't think they've helped themselves in this regard at all, because it's like, the main things they've focused on is the tech and the visuals. And I feel like we're kind of at a boiling point with a lot of gamers, and especially I would say the gamers specifically that this game is going to, where it's like they don't like to be deceived. Maybe they feel they've already been deceived with other stuff. I don't think people are willing to bite so quickly and easily on a visual demo, just like a visual tech presentation, as they used to be. People will bring up past examples more because you have those past examples. So, I've long said, if this game plays like Uncharted, I think it's going to be like a Game of the Year contender, because you mix the visuals with her mind, and then also now you get to look, because there's like check boxes, right? And you have, like beautiful visuals and like this really state-of-the-art, facial tracking and all this stuff, okay? You have her, and okay, fine. But then at the same time, it's like, but there's a huge part missing where it's like, okay, what about the game? You know what I mean? I guess you have the idea too, right? This putting it in a time period thing, connecting it with Marvel, having some characters people like, all that jazz. All good. Check on the boxes. The one huge box is, okay, how long is this game? Is it like a 4-hour game where you literally just look at cutscenes? Or is it like a meaty thing, and there's how deep are the gameplay? Like, they've never talked about that, and they've never showed it. Now, okay, let me correct myself, because there was one interview with her, and she did bring up Uncharted, and I've always remembered that interview in my own head, and I've always tried to bring that up with people, where it's like, well, she has said that before. And it's like, I don't know, if this game is just a walking sim, and then it's, Marvel, paint, coated over it, I can understand why people would be very mad, but I don't want to write it off as that just yet. I want to see actual gameplay, and it's like, if you can have the dynamics of an Uncharted, or like we just had that Blood Message, that Chinese game, right, which looked like a pseudo Uncharted 5. If it can look like that, and then just have the tech that they've promoted so much, that's fine. I think that just fills this box for a lot of people that right now is unfilled. And like I said, it's why whenever people will bring it up, I'm not aggressive towards it. It's like, no, you have a good point. You shouldn't get like, okay, this is going to be a slam dunk game until you actually see the game, and we really haven't. Now, in terms of like a progress report, the issue is, right, it was supposed to come out 2025. Now, I imagine it was going to be very, very late, right? November, December. Now it's pushed. They've said it, right? Early 2026. So my issue, and just, where I'm kind of at with my, anticipation for this game is, I'm not very pleased that they skip Summer Game Fest. Now, a lot of games, not every game was at Summer Game Fest, but like the situation they're at now is like this game potentially, like we're in July, so 6 months from now, you're in January. You're like half a year, if not maybe 7-8 months away, okay? Say the game comes out in March, right? You're like 8 months away from it, and it's like, at what point do you like start to show off the game? So, and again, that's where I would be defensive towards like the fans and say, okay, you have a point. And like, shouldn't you have already done that? Look, games nowadays, certain companies at least, kind of wait, right? They'll wait and maybe show off the game 3, 4, 5 months before it comes out. Fair, I get, and I do like the quick turnaround. It's just that, well, technically they didn't do that, right? They announced their game years ago. It's been a lot of waiting. It's been, this release date that we didn't know know when it was, and then they delay it, and we still don't know when it is. But we've only ever seen this game like twice. I think we got like technically 2 trailers and that tech thing, which is really just like one cutscene. It's really like we've seen the environments and we've seen like the actors, and Amy Hennig's talked about it, but we haven't really seen the game. And you're approaching way less than a year before the game comes out. So it's like, okay, at what point do you just like do an entire presentation and just really show it? Do you really wait 3 months before? Here's the thing, like, and I'm not comparing. Mind's Eye. I'll bring up Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye should absolutely not be compared to this game. Hopefully, at the end of the day. But I'm just bringing it up in terms of like when you hide stuff, when you don't. A big question with Mind's Eye, a month before it came out, 2 months before it came out, is like, where's the talk? Like, they're not even showing it. And I'm not saying this game would be that. I think that's very hard to actually accomplish. But it's like, at what point, when the months start ticking and the game comes out 4 months from now and you're still not showing it, at what point it's like, okay, well, what are you hiding? It might not be the same hiding things of Mind's Eye, but it's like, okay, well, is it a 5-hour game? Is it a 12-hour game? How much do you actually play? What are the gameplay mechanics? At some point you have to ask those questions, especially, by the way, they're expecting you to buy it. This isn't like a free thing. So, I think it's reasonable to ask for, not threaten, not do stuff like that, but to say, hey, what's going on with the footage here, right? So hopefully we get it soon. I just feel like the Game Awards would be too late, right? Like it's a big presentation. It would be a big show. I can understand it from that perspective, but then it's like, well, if you show it at the Game Awards and it comes out 2 months later, it's like, that's a quick turn. Again, like that's like, why would you wait so long? So we'll see what happens, but just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit with you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.